You know, it really feels like you can't escape the era of Wrapped, the era of review. It seems like every company or digital platform needs to have some kind of Wrapped or review at the end of the year to justify their invasion of privacy by collecting your data. And, it started with Spotify Wrapped, and then it kind of spread to Apple and other music platforms, and then you started getting it in weird places like Google Chrome and Reddit. And I guess there could be some argument that YouTube started it with its whole rewind thing about a decade ago, and we all know how that ended.
It's rewind time.
But at some point, we have to, as a society, put our foot down and say we can't just keep regurgitating these types of trends, right? It's like we're getting lost in this yearly psychosis where everyone shares everything they did for the year prior, like there's some kind of value in it. Anyway, what's this video about? So yes, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays. It is that time of the year. It's the end of the year. Honestly, probably a Happy New Year considering I'm not filming this till almost the end of the year, and editing Faceman is notoriously slow. But I am doing an artist wrapped this year. I've seen it on TikTok a few times from different artists and different people through different mediums. You know what? Let's get into this PowerPoint. We've wasted enough time on this intro. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. What do you literally have one job to do. I tell you, press the button, and you're standing there looking at me like I'm the one that's unreasonable for getting mad at you for not being able to do a simple job. Next slide. You want me to do it? Okay, I will do it. I am not the best at completing artworks year after year. I don't know how far over I should stand, to be honest, but let's see. How many artworks did I complete this year? 12. That's not bad. That's one a month. And, that might be very small for you. That might be a lot for you. But I'm very happy to have reached 12 at least this year. And I think a big part of that was due to the creation of an art mail club, which we'll get to as we go through the slideshow here. I really wanted to be festive in this video, which is why I have the whole Christmas sweater getup. But it is, of course, +4 today Celsius because I'm not an insane person. It's been like -30 for the past week or two, and of course, when I decide to film in this thick sweater is when it's the hottest day. So if I pass out mid video, you know what happened. Yeah, all in all, I'm very happy with the 12 artworks that I completed this month. On to the next slide, please. So this is actually a topic that I really wanted to cover because I think there's this misconception that more hours put into an artwork make it better. Artworks that you spend and labor at a long time are because you're unsure of it or you can't get your expression out the way that you want it, and you have to keep refining it. So with that long explanation of the slide out of the way, let's go over my 3 pieces that took me the longest. The first one, Godbone Space Rat. This is actually, I think, one of my least favorite artworks from the year. I am particularly happy with how the gold teeth ended up turning out, but overall, not my favorite piece. The artwork that took me the second longest this year is this one. It has a very long name. Hold on, what is it again? My nightmares are the only solace I have from what I saw in the woods. I was obviously at a very dark period of my life, but this is probably my least favorite artwork that I did, other than the eye in the top left of the picture, but I'm not completely happy with it, and I just spent so long on it. You see, over 30 hours. But it was not the top artwork for how long it took me to do. The artwork that took me the longest to complete is Nature of Betrayal, which took me over 40 hours. In this particular one, a lot of the time was kind of spent unsure of what to do with the background. So I spent a lot of time in indecision. So to summarize the lessons learned from this slide that I've created, it really is an understanding that time doesn't necessarily equal quality. And sometimes time is okay to spend in art, being in that flow state of just letting stuff happen, and the time melts away, and that's okay. But you need to understand why you might be taking so long. And if it's because you are unsure of yourself, or you're not able to express yourself correctly through your art, or your skills need to be worked on, this is something you need to take note of, something that I've taken note of as I look back at the past year of artwork. and something I want to improve on in the next year. Okay, next slide, please. My most successful print. This is a little bit of self-aggrandizing. I have never really sold my art, but this year was the first year I actually sold some art. I wanted to make note that this was my most successful art print, and I sold a grand total of 9 of them, which is just crazy to me, that, this exists in 9 different places around the world. And this is not something I want to spend too long of the video on, but it's good to remind yourself of the small successes year over year. And I'm very proud of myself that, I set up a website and a Patreon, and started actually pursuing the possibility of making money from my art, which is not the reason why you should do it, but it is something that I'm working towards as an aspiration to be able to live off of my art. And it's a good stepping stone. So what did I actually spend most of 2025 doing when it came to creating art? I don't think it's a big surprise to anyone that has been following me on any social media beyond YouTube. It was mostly spent on creating art for my kind of world building project. And this is a little bit big for me, but I'm revealing the name of the world that this is all existing in. And it's actually called Green Vale, is the name of the area, not exactly the whole world, but where this is all taking place, all this artwork and this lore that I'm writing. So every month since June, I've really been working on this world building project through my art mail club. I'm super happy with how this has pushed me as an artist, how it's pushed me forward to really pursue the world building project and just create more art. I have a feeling that in 2026, it will also be the thing that I spent my most time on, especially because I have plans that I'm going to get to at the end of this slideshow for 2026 concerning my world building project. Also, as a real human being having, political thoughts and ideas, I have also created political artwork this year. I've always kind of created political artwork on and off. This was definitely a year that I decided to express my political ideas much more overtly through my artwork, through a few of these pieces here, and a little bit inadvertently through some of my more fantasy world building artworks. So you can look into them, and maybe you can find political meanings in them. I know what they are. It's not something I exactly want to belabor or go over, but if you look hard enough, you might be able to find them. But beyond all of that, I want to talk about the artwork that I was most proud of. It was an artwork that came from the Art Mail Club, and it was Season's End. Season's End was the artwork for November, and I'm just very happy with how it came out. I think it is a good combination of expression at the early stages of the artwork, of really just getting it out there because I felt like I wanted to get it out there. They just kind of spilled out onto the page or the canvas or digital tablet, whatever you want to say. And then I didn't have to just fiddle around with rendering so much. I still obviously have my own personal style, and I render to a specific degree, but I think the composition and expression that I was able to get out felt correct to me. This piece is also kind of an interesting mesh of the abstract or the surreal with the more normal, which I have a lot throughout my artwork. But I found that kind of breaking the third wall with the artwork, right, with these weird stars that are obviously artistic elements and don't exist in the scene, but just kind of bring some flavor, is something that I'm experimenting with more, and something that I'm going to experiment a lot more with in 2026. On to the next slide. That's enough about me. Obviously, I didn't only create art this year. I also appreciated and to some degree consumed art, and was inspired by it. And I think it's really important to just have a couple quick slides on some artists and artwork and stuff that I found particularly inspiring. So let's immediately get onto that with my favorite new artist. This is someone that I discovered this year, and I'm definitely going to butcher their name, so I do heavily apologize. Zeishao Shen. You can correct me in the comments or attack me or whatever you want, but I apologize for the mispronunciation, but I will not apologize for the love of their artwork. I originally found their artwork through their fan art of RimWorld, which, just looking at the art, you would not know is for RimWorld. If you know what RimWorld is, it's a PC game that's very simple graphics, 2D, but it has these complex backstories that are created dynamically. And I think there's just much inspiration that Shen takes from these random stories that happen, and creates beautiful, beautiful artwork. They also create art for Magic the Gathering, and I'm just blown away by how tactile these artworks feel. a true master understanding of weight. Definitely check them out. I will definitely be getting prints at some point of some of their work to hang somewhere. But beyond finding new artists, I was also inspired by artists that I have followed for a couple years. The most inspiring for me personally was the creator of a graphic novel called Bird King, and they go by the name Crom. The reason that I'm so inspired by Crom's work is because personally, and especially recently over the past few months, I really want to dive into graphic novels in terms of actually creating one. It's never something I've done. I don't really even know how to approach it. But as part of this world building project for Greenvale, I really want to take the step into fleshing out the world through a graphic novel. It's a huge undertaking. It's definitely something that I don't expect to complete in 2026, but it's something that I hope to start in 2026. For that reason, Crom is very inspiring to me. I actually got, 'tis the season. I actually got his graphic novel, Bird King Volume 1, 2, and 3, which I haven't read in person. I've just kind of been a fan of the art that they've posted. So if you like the artwork here, you're interested in graphic novels, definitely check out Crom. Super, super cool stuff, very inspiring. And also on that note of inspiration, I wanted to touch on the most inspiring art creator. I'm not necessarily an artist, although that is what they are, and that is Gox. I think a lot of people, if you are in the art YouTube space, know about Gox. He kind of has coined this specific video editing style that you're seeing pop up a lot more with new creators. He kind of defined that. He almost has a genre defining style that a lot of people are trying to imitate. Might not be the most flattering way to say it, but are definitely inspired by. And obviously, I'm not someone who is taking a lot of notes from the video editing. As you can see, I'm just a guy in a room standing in front of a green screen, but what I do take inspiration from is his passion for his work. He is fully unapologetic about his style of art, about how he presents his vision, and obviously how he creates his videos. He is someone who is not afraid to spend 6 months on an idea and just really dive into the nooks and crannies of each element because he just has so much love for the craft. And I'm just very inspired by that type of idea. It's something that I need to take within my heart more of just getting lost in the love of the art. And I think I'm finding that a little bit more, especially over the past year, but it's something I want to continue to work on and just understand that obsession can definitely be a tool in your arsenal. It's something that can cause a lot of issues, but I want to be obsessed with the crafts that I commit to. And I see that with Gox, and it's very inspiring. So I definitely had to give a shout out to Gox's YouTube channel and art in general. So if you don't know who he is, definitely check him out. You will be completely blown away by the quality of every one of his videos. All right, with the past year out of the way in terms of people and artwork that I found, my own personal art journey, I wanted to just do one slide on my biggest goal for 2026 when it came to art, and that is character design. I think a lot of people probably notice this in my artwork, but I don't really spend a lot of time or have a lot of art for humans. And it's something that I definitely want to work on for the upcoming year as I expand the lore of my world building project. It is not just a world of animals and weird deities. There are people and different tribes and socioeconomic issues that I want to address within this world building project within that land. And I can't really do that without drawing people. And I'm not super confident in it. It's definitely an issue of anatomy and creating artwork that shows people in a dynamic situation. A lot of my anatomy that I've tried to do is very stiff and rigid, and it's something that I need to build my skills on. And you can either, be stuck in your ways and happy with what you have and stay in that lane. And if that's something you want to do, that's fine. But I want to expand my horizons as an artist, and a big part of that is being able to draw characters and humans and different ideas surrounding that. And in kind of that same vein of expanding my artistic abilities, I also want to go throughout different mediums. I am going to hopefully get into a little bit of painting, more polymer clay stuff, over this winter break and hopefully the next year. And this is all things that I want to do to expand who I am as an artist, because I am so stuck in my ways as a digital artist that draws weird animals that I haven't really gone much beyond that. And I know that I have the potential to, and I just needed the motivation of the last year, of the successes, small and big, that I found to push me to pursue a bigger art goal. As a little side note, I also really want a goal of creating more YouTube videos. It is something that I thoroughly enjoy, even though it riddles me with anxiety to stand in front of this camera whenever I make a video. It's just something that I need to get over, because I truly enjoy the process of sharing my ideas and my journey of hopefully one day becoming an independent artist. I just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the video. I know it's a weird one. It went on way longer than I wanted to, so hopefully editing Faceman can cut it down to a concise presentation. But I really do want to thank you for tuning into the video if you liked it. I am obviously way too small to have a sponsorship of any kind, but if you do want to support me beyond just liking or subscribing, I do have a Patreon where you can sign up to get a monthly sticker or a monthly print or a monthly sticker and print of a lot of the artwork kind of stuff that you saw in this video. So if that interests you, consider checking it out. Thank you to all my current Patreons. Keep creating art, and we'll see you in the next video. Peace.